Hey guys, Mike Mcerlane with another episode of Workout 101 on WorkoutTrainer.com, right here at The Gym, the personal home fitness studio of Dr. Jim Stepani and myself. Today we're going to be talking about the band setup and the benefits and execution, all that stuff on the power rack. Now traditionally when people are doing power rack exercises and using the bands, about 90% of the time you're going to be squatting, so that's what we're going to be covering today. But depending on what you're doing, the setup is very similar. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys how to actually get set up. Now, in the JYM Strength Bands, in the kit, there's a whole bunch of different attachments. You have the option of using what I've done here, which is this is actually the door anchor. So it's a foam, it's about a 2-inch thick foam cylinder here, or donut, I guess. And it has the, a thin fabric here, so it goes underneath the power rack. A lot of times, depending on how high it is, some power racks actually don't have any space down here. That's okay, just get a heavy dumbbell and use that as the anchor point versus using this. But you can use the door anchors, or you can use the actual Velcro straps and slide them underneath as well. But for these purposes, we're just gonna go ahead and use the anchors here. So once you're set up and you slide it underneath, you just put the band through. Now I'm not using very heavy bands here, but again, there's over 400 pounds of actual resistance in the kit, so it can get pretty heavy. I've actually bent the bar just using the bands before. So, but this is only about, what is this? This is about a 20-pound band, okay? When it's taut right here, it's about 20 pounds. But as we lift up and stretch it up over here, it obviously increases. Now, when you're doing power rack exercises, it's always important to put the plate on first, unless you are actually doing no weight and you're just focusing on the bands. So very simply, you just sling it up and over, wrap it around the outside edge of the bar. You do the same on either side. The nice thing about this kit is that you have two bands of the equal resistance for these exact purposes. So once you're set up here, you're good to go, and you unrack the bar just like you would normally with regular weight and start the exercise. So now, since we're talking about the squat, let's talk about technique a little bit and how we do the squat with the bands. Now, it doesn't really change as far as the actual movement of unracking, descending, and stuff like that. You are going to be doing it at a different pace. That is the technique by doing this. So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to face this way so you guys can kind of see me. But once you unrack, now normally I would not be facing this way, but just for purposes of talking to the camera, when you unrack, what you're doing here is you're going to just unrack like you normally would. The bands pull you in the direction. Depending, especially if you have like the heavy bands on here, when you unrack, be careful because they want to pull you back because the angle is actually pulling you in that direction. So just be aware that it can slingshot you back. So when you're down here, and you're getting ready to squat, you get set up just like you normally would with any other squat. If you're doing the weight plus the bands, your pace, the rate at which you move is going to be a little bit different than if you actually did it with just the bands only, okay? So the whole goal here is do a continuous repetition without stopping with the bands. So you come down into the parallel position, explode up, back down, explode up, explode up, explode up, okay? You try and move as fast as you can, especially coming out of the hole. That's the goal. You descend down, you load, okay? You load it into the actual hole, and boom, you come out explosive and powerful up. Now, if you were doing this without the free weight, it's going to change the dynamics a little bit because I don't have an actual physical load on the muscles from a weight that's controlled by gravity. I have an actual resisted load onto the muscle provided from the bands. So the dynamics are a little bit different in when you actually use the free weight versus just the bands. And this is the nice thing about the bands, because now where you can use the bands in a free weighted setting to where you're getting those linear variable resistance principles, the weight changing concentrically and eccentrically. But depending on how heavy you're going, you can still maximize those principles. But if you want the principle of speed, you got to take the weight down add up on the elastic side. So when you're here, now as you unrack, now you have still a heavy load. If I were to load up the bands here, you would still have quite a heavy load of resistance, but it allows you to control the resistance through speed and power. So now if you're just using the bands and the bar, now what you want to do is you want to do this at a fast, much more rapid pace, such as this. Okay? Now, is that real heavy? No. Check it out. Now, if I want to add weight, this is a 60-pound band. Same thing, guys. Slide it on through here. It's as easy as putting on a plate. Latching up the carabiners, stretching up and over. It is pretty heavy once you stretch it. Those of you who have these bands, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So put them on through here. Clip it. Stretch it up. Over. Now, watch what happens. You guys are gonna notice as soon as I unrack this, I'm gonna pop forward real quick, okay? Especially because I'm facing the opposite way. So now, it slingshots you forward. Just be aware. Right now, I'm surprised I'm not even lifting the power rack up, which I've done with this. So now, it's real chirpy, which means it's very, unlike free weight just kind of sways. This is real chirpy, so your muscles are already firing just to try and maintain a base. From here, now you can really get speed into the movement. And you do those, you do a set of squats like that, oh man, you're gonna feel it. Now, when to do it, you would want to do this at the beginning part of your squatting movement. So before you get into heavy weights, go with just the bands first, then go into the free weight or the free weight with the bands. Because the ability for you to recruit those fast twitch muscle fibers happen at the beginning parts of the actual movement before your muscles are already exhausted. Now, just like a lot of the other benefits that I've talked about in other videos, why are we using the bands? Again, two things. One, as I stretch the bands here, the bands are really heavy at the top. It's putting a lot of load where I'm at my strongest point. As I descend downward, the load decreases, but then, and it should, because I'm actually weaker in the hole. I'm weaker down here. People do hole squats. You see guys do hole squats where they're just coming up halfway back down with as much weight as they possibly can do. Those are called hole squats, or partial rep squats at the top. They really load it up and just start up at the top. That's because you're stronger and weaker at certain points in the range of motion. With the bands, you don't have to worry about that. Because as you go down into the hole here, the bands decrease. But then as you come up, as you're getting stronger at the top, the bands increase in tension, which means you're getting more stress applied to the muscle. The benefit about the bands too, unlike chains or anything else, is I can do that fast, rapid pace and still maintain control over the weight as I do the movement. You do those, guys, I promise you, people are gonna be coming up to you at the gym, asking you what you're doing, where you get the bands. You'll be the next best thing at the gym. No, that's not the goal, but the results that you're gonna yield from doing these exercises will be unlike anything else. If you guys have any questions about this, about the bands or anything else, please ask me on the Workout Trainer Facebook page, or you can ask me right here on workouttrainer.com by clicking above on the community, finding trainers, clicking on myself, Mike Mcerlane, and I'll get back to you. Until next time, guys, this is Mike Mcerlane coming to you live from, well, not live, but recorded live, from the gym, the personal home fitness studio of Dr. Jim Stoppani and myself. Take care.